that we have the pistons put together and ready to be installed, we're actually, so we flipped the engine over. We're going to get these caps off. We're gonna get the crank installed, get all the bearings installed, and get it ready to flip back over. We'll do the gaps on the piston rings and then get these pistons installed. So let's go ahead and pull these things off. I got new bolts for the caps and then the sides here. So we're gonna go ahead and get all this installed, get them torqued, and start putting this motor together. Got everything taken off. I'm just going to clean up everything really good, make sure it's you know, there ain't no rust, nothing like that. We'll get the bearings installed, and then we'll set the crank on top, put the caps back on, get everything torqued down, and it'll be ready to go. All right guys, so here's the main bearings right here. So you see the one that has the groove, there's one that doesn't. So your groove is going to be for the oil ports, so you can see no hole, and then there's a hole for the oil in these ones. So you want to make sure that you put those in the correct spot, and the flat ones go onto the tops. So we're going to go ahead and get these installed first. So you want to make sure that there's no oil or anything on the back of these. And if you look, you have that ear there, and it goes where the ear goes there. So it's just as simple as, let's see if I can do this with one hand, and then it slides just in place like that. Super easy. Same thing for all of them. Just put it in the center. Slides down. And you also can't forget your thrust washers. You need to make sure you have those, or your thrust bearings, whatever you want to call them. So those are going to go in after you install the crank, and then they slide in place. Once I get to that point, I'll show you. There's a flat side which goes against the actual case, and then there's a oil port that goes against the crank. So you want to make sure you put that on the correct way, or it will damage your motors. So those are installed. We're going to apply some freaking assembly lube. Once you do that, throw the crank on it, and then freaking start putting the caps on. Once you put the caps on, I mean, that's it for the bottom end. We'll just flip it over and start installing the pistons. So super easy. We'll get the crank on there and go from there. All right, so here's your thrust washers. So you can see one side's flat, the other side has bevels on them. So this goes against the crank. This goes against the block. Super easy to install these. There's notches. I'll get you closer. Notches right there that these go into. So they slide in super easily, and you'll be able to just rotate them in, essentially. And then the caps, when you put the caps on, they actually hold them in place. So again, against the just like that. There you go. So now we're going to be installing the bearings to the caps. So these have the notches in the center. So that's another way of knowing which side goes to where. But same thing, presses right in place. And then these are numbered. So you can see number 1 and then an arrow. The arrow always points towards the pulley. And then your number 1 starts at the pulley as well. So if you think about it, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to start at 1 and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is always going to be against the flywheel. All right, so we got the bolts in. So we're gonna get these torque down. So the cap torque specs are gonna be 36 foot-pounds, and then these side bolts, those are 56 foot-pounds, and then the side bolts are 36. The way the sequence goes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's the sequence that you're gonna go through when you're torquing them. I'm gonna go ahead and throw you guys on a time lapse, and we'll get all this torqued down and ready to go. Also, I will say I like to take these ones into a 2-step. So I'll do like 25 and then I'll go into the 56. So I'll do the sequence like so, go over it again, and then torque the bottoms since they only go to 36. These are all torqued, ready to go. Spins over nice, smooth and easy, which is nice. So we're going to flip her over and start getting the rings gapped, and we'll get everything installed. So, not sure how, but I measured all the rings, put them in. I don't know if this is something that Wiseco does, but they were all within spec, so I didn't have to adjust anything. I mean, I would have done it with this little guy. You know, you're able to follow the rings down. Here's an extra ring here. So you literally take it like this, and then when you squeeze it, it pushes it up against the wheel, and then actually file it down. So we didn't have to do it. Kind of saved us a shit ton of time, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, so these things are in. Got the caps off, so the bevels go against each other. That's how I removed it. So we're gonna get the bearings on and freaking install them, and it'll be set. So I have this ring compressor here. This is a Wiseco ring compressor. Sets in there. It's a 90 millimeter, and you pop her straight in. Should go in without coming out. I like them better than the actual compressor ones that squeezes and you gotta smack it in. So these ones are way better. Get these bearings on and have a pretty much fully together bottom end. We'd still have to install the water pump, oil pump, and the front plate. Well, not water pump. We don't have to do that yet, so. Got everything, all the bolts out, all the rings are positioned in the correct spot, so let's push it in. So also you want to remember where your pistons are, so intake is going to be facing up. That's it, just like that, pops right in. So now we're gonna flip it over, tighten the bolts. These are the ARP 2000s. I don't know if you can see that. So these, it comes with instructions, says to torque to 55, so that's what we're gonna do. And also on the washers, you wanna make sure the beveled side goes against the head. It also tells you to lubricate here and here, so it helps with torquing it so it doesn't have a lot of friction. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out, and then I'm gonna throw you guys on a time lapse so it's not taking forever. There you go, that's it. So I'm gonna time lapse you guys, and we'll get all the rest of these in. There you have it. It is fully assembled. We still got oil pump and whatnot to put on, but for the most part, the lower end is together. That's going to be it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I mean, let's see if we can... Yeah. Feeling pretty good. Smooth. Almost no force. Turns everything over, so I'm happy with it. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Freaking like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.